Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're from Assam, from Guwahati or from anywhere in Northeast and you have a dog and you have heard of Khanapara Veterinary Hospital, you must watch this video. And if you visit Khanapara Veterinary Hospital with your pet, then just stop. Just stop doing that. They are going to, I should not say it, I hope your pet is always healthy and you never face a situation where you have to visit some doctor for your dog or your pet. But if you do not visit Khanapara Veterinary Hospital. They are going to kill your pet. I did this mistake. I'm making this video because I don't want any of you to go through what I went through. I had two dogs and I've lost both of them. I'll tell you about their lives. I was 14 when my father adopted this cute little white fur ball kind of a dog. That is Jimmy. He was the naughtiest, the cutest, and the most pampered. And he looked the cutest when he's asleep. After 2 years, we adopted another dog. She was the naughtiest. So she is Jenny. I am sure you have heard about her in my other videos if you're following me. I haven't spoke anything about Jimmy till now in any of my videos because I started YouTube after I lost him. Just few weeks after I lost him. Together, Jimmy and Jenny were the craziest. They don't even need anyone's company. They don't want my company or anyone's company. They're just so if Jenny goes inside someone else's house, he will wait outside for her, outside the gate of the other house. And if Jenny goes out of the gate without him, he will bark like anything. He'll inform us that she's out, just bring her back. They were very good together. Then after a few years, 2 or 3 years I think, Jenny was pregnant. She gave birth to 5 kids. 4 of them were girls and 1 was a boy. The girls were very healthy. The boy was a little. We tried our best to keep him healthy, but comparatively he was a little bit weaker compared to the other girls. But all of them survived. They were very healthy. Then we had no plan of keeping them with us. We already have these 2 naughty kids, so we don't want more. So we gave them away to other families, whoever wanted to adopt them. There was one kid that stayed for the longest. I did not want to give that kid away because that kid has stayed with us for a very long time. The puppy, I would call them kid. Then everything is okay. Jimmy and Jenny got all the attention. Jimmy was scared of the puppies. After we gave them away, they were very happy. All the attentions were to them. Even if they were mother and father, they are still kid to me. Then, like I said, Jenny was very naughty. So one day she even broke the front leg. She was out in our backyard playing. Both of them were playing. They are always, we don't tie them. We tie them very rarely. If we're going out, then we're tying them. But usually they're just open. They go to our backyard, they stay. Whenever they want to go pee, whatever, they go by themselves. So they never peed inside. They are always, they are not trained dogs. They learned everything by themselves. I don't know how. They just understood. They even understood us speaking. If someone is speaking about Jimmy, he would just know. Even if he's sleeping, he'll just wake up and he'll have a very why are you talking about me kind of a look in his face. He started understanding things so very like humans actually. But they're untrained. I never taught them anything. I never taught them about doing pee outside or Jenny could open the door by herself. We never taught her them anything. Jenny went out one day in our backyard and they were fine. Both of them were okay. Jimmy came early. Then Jenny came a little bit later. As soon as she saw us inside the door, she walked. I don't know how she came, but he came inside the house. And after she saw us, she started crying. She was just, she slept on the ground and she just started crying. She was not allowing me to touch her hand. We took her to the vet that day only. Then the doctor made this plaster. She stayed like that with the plaster for 20 25 days, I think. I'm not sure, I forgot. But after the particular period, we took her to the vet again. They opened the plaster and then she was fine again. Everything was normal. I took admission in Meghalaya and I had to go there. So every weekend, whenever we had vacation, I used to come and I used to stay there only in Meghalaya. I took a rent there. So both Jimmy and Jenny were very close to my grandmother because she was here. They are just always sitting together, always, they're just together all the time. Then one day my grandmother called me and she said, "You need to come home because Jenny is not eating anything from last 2 days. Today will be the third day." She said like that. Then I was like, maybe her stomach is upset, that's why. But then if her stomach is upset, it is not going to take her 2 3 days. So then I gave my application. I just came. I took vacation for a week, I think. I forgot. I just took some days off. Then I came home and I saw Jenny's stomach was huge, much bigger than how she was. We took her to the Me and my mother took her to the vet the next morning, and the vet said, "We need to perform an operation. We need to do a lab test for her." And they were suspecting it to be this disease to be, in human terms, this is like a cyst that she's having in her stomach. And we did the lab test and the reports were something like this that we don't understand. It's something like this. We did x-ray for her also. So this is the spinal cord, and this entire thing is her belly, and there is nothing. It's just some form of fluid. This is just, she's not this big, but because of this thing, this is huge. We took her to Pet and Vet. Some of you might know where Pet and Vet is. You can search it up. That's a private hospital, clinic kind of a thing. We took her there. All these reports are from there only. And the doctor said that this is like an emergency. We need to perform the surgery really soon because we never know when this thing is going to burst inside her body. If it bursts, she's going to die. So there is no saving her after that. So then we came home with these reports. I told my grandmother, and the doctor said the average amount for the surgery will be around 18,000. Medicines and all will be separate, but this will be the operation charges for her. So then I came home. I told my grandmother these are the things, and this is the worst case scenario, and what we can do, what options are we are left with. She said, "Let's go for it. Let's just do it." She's very young. Jenny's very young, so we can't just let her die. So we took her to the vet again the next day with the intention of doing the operation. We went, we did it. They are very fast. They have already everything, doctors and set up. Everything was just ready. We are not going to take any chances with it. We'll just perform the operation. So everything was ready. She was taken straight to the operation theater. We were not allowed. She was taken separately. They gave her an injection. They made her unconscious and they took her. We could not see what was going on because we were not allowed. After the operation was done, we were called inside, and I kept crying the entire time outside, and other visitors were like, "What's wrong with this girl?" So We went inside the operation theater. She was sleeping. She was awake, but she was mentally unconscious, but her eyes were open. She can hear everything, but she could not recognize us. She could not recognize me or anyone. She was just sleeping. Her They have put that mask so that she don't bite anyone. They put a mask around her face, and her tongue was just coming out because she was not conscious. The doctor showed us that they took out. It have surrounded her ovaries inside. So if they try to, if they do anything with that thing, then it might just burst. If it bursts, then it will be mixed with her blood, and that's the end. So they asked us, should we take the ovaries out with it? We said it's okay. Just take that thing out, no matter what you need to take. We don't need kids or anything. It's okay. We just need to save her. Once the operation was over, she had a plaster in her stomach, and her fur in that part was shaved off, just clean shaved. She did not know, probably because she was unconscious. She did not know anything, and the moment we reached home, she started running. She just started running. The doctors also gave us this prescription, two tablets and one vitamin thing. We took her again on a particular date, and the doctor removed the bandage. For years there was no problem. For Jenny, for Jimmy, for both of them, there were just no problem. They were happy, enjoying their lives. And then suddenly one day we noticed Jimmy's nose was little bit swollen here. We thought this is probably Jenny hitting him, or probably he just got hurt on the door or the wall or anything, because they're very naughty. They are just always playing. After some time, when he's sleeping, we started noticing there is no sign from his side, but we just started noticing that when he sleeps, suppose he's sleeping like this on the floor, so when he's up, there is a brownish thing coming out from his nose. To the vet again. This time we took him to Khanapara Veterinary Hospital. The mistake of my life. We took him there. They did a lot of tests on him. These are his tests. This is the first day's report. This is the date. This is the next test we had, 5th May 2023. Then this is the next, 6th May 2023. These two are together. Then this is on 7th May, and again the same was used on 8th May, 16th May, 6th May, 5th May, 8th May, this report is from 16th May, 20th May, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 30th May, 4th June, 7th June, 22nd June, 30th June, 30th June. This one is the last one. This one is the last one, and they gave these 4 medicines. You can just search it up. These are the names. These four medicines were the last four medicines uh, that they gave, and the reason we stopped going to Khanapara after this, because those medicines were for liver, for deworming, and the deworming medicine is for not for dog deworming, it's the cow's deworming, because they thought Jimmy had so much worms in him that that's creating his lump here. They thought this. And then there was this gastric, something like that. These are not what he's having. We still gave him that levocin kind of a thing, medicine. There is one liver related thing we gave him in the hopes that he'll start eating. He'll at least eat. Those medicines are not even, he's not having these problems, of course. I'm not a doctor, but I know that much. And probably they were having this mentality, ye to marega hi, let's experiment on him. This type of an attitude, probably. Those are, I believe, they are not even doctors. I don't know how, with whose connections they are even sitting there in Khanapara, this veterinary hospital. And this is just okay. Let's just assume Jimmy's case is very complicated. There has never been a case like him. So this is like they don't know what disease this is. Okay, suppose, just assume. I also have another dog. I did not treat her sickness in Khanapara, but I went there to ask if they have the medicines. They don't even have her medicines. I'll talk about her disease in the later part of the video. I'm talking about Jimmy. So they were just experimenting with him. There is just no there was no solution. I could not. We went to two private doctors. One was in Beltola and one was in Rajkot, near passport office. Both of them were private. Even they could not just tell me what is he suffering from. We had no options then to just take care of him at home and pray that his things just stop. His nose was becoming, it was just getting swollen every day, and gradually from his nose, this part of his nose became swollen, and it came to his eyes. He could not see. He could see this part of whatever is going on in this side, but if I do something here, he can't see unless he turns his head. And he was old. He was 13, so one of his eye was already having cataract. This eye was working, and the eye which was working have this swollen thing. So we know he's not very comfortable, but he doesn't look like, he used to have fun. He was playing, running, he's doing. So we just kept telling us ourselves that he's okay. This is just looking bad. He's fine. He's not in pain. We just used to continuously say that to ourselves because that's the only thing we could do. Then one day suddenly his the behind wala legs collapsed. They stopped working. They were more like paralyzed, and he cried. I have never seen him cry till the day he was with me. Even when he was kid, he never cried. He just never cried. But that night he cried the entire night. After that night, we took him to Goswami Canal in Rajgarh, and there the doctor said he's having cancer. Like, I don't even have to look at the reports. He's straight away just having cancer. We could have given him chemo, and dogs' chemo are very different from human chemo. It's just, it goes like a saline and like that. But we did not know. We have been running in Khanapara all these days, all these months, and it's June from May, all these months we were running like crazy, and the doctor in Goswami Canal said you don't even need to look at any documents. This is like very clear. So then if Khanapara would have been educated enough and doctor enough and veterinary enough, they could have found that he's having cancer and we could have given him chemo and he would have just been fine. We took him to Goswami Canal. That was like, thank God we took him to Goswami Canal, and Goswami Canal's doctor said, give him this medicine. If we are lucky enough, we can keep him. If we are not, there is nothing we can do. Then, and we know he can't even walk at that time. We can't give him chemo at that time because he's not going to take it physically. He's just, if I have one day left with him, why would I give him chemo today and kill him today itself? I won't. So then we gave him the normal medicines and he could not stand up. I had to carry him thrice, I think, thrice in a day. I used to take him, I used to carry him like this outside to the spot where he actually does susu. I used to take him there, and probably he gets the smell, and he does it. He stayed like that for a week. I did not sleep that entire week because I was just, I don't know, I could not sleep. Every time he used to sleep in my room. So every time he makes noise, I'm just looking at him all the time. And humans can stay in a bed for years and they can still survive. Dogs, they're animals. No matter how much we think and treat them as humans, once they can't move, they are not going to survive. And I used to tell my mother when I used to cry that he is not going to stay with us for longer because his when I used to feed him, those later days he stopped eating. So I used to make liquid food, everything turned into liquid, and I used to feed him. He doesn't eat, so I used to use syringe. I just wanted to feed him something so that he survives, even for 1-2 days if he survives. Whenever I used to feed him with the syringe, I have noticed his teeth were not stable enough, they were weak, and his gums were also a little swollen, so probably that's why he stopped eating. This continued for a week, entire week. He had the medicines for 2 days, just 2 days, and on the second day he expired. On Dhanteras, November something. So on that day at night 11:15, Jimmy was in our drawing room, TV was on, he was sleeping, and I just came to give food to Jenny in our dining table, and she had her food, and I came to the drawing room to see him. He's sleeping in a very odd position, and because he's having problem with his nose, he have to sleep like very straight, or else he have problem with breathing because of the swollen thing. So when I saw him sleeping in that odd position, I told him like, why are you sleeping like this? You won't be able to breathe. Then I just picked him up so that I can keep him properly. I just picked him up and he made a sound with his from his mouth, and I kept him down, and he was still in my hand, and that was the time he just passed away. So he was waiting for us to come to the drawing room probably, or probably he tried to get up so that he can come to the dining room because we were there. So that was Jimmy's story. So after Jimmy, Jenny was all alone. Jenny got Jimmy from the day she came to our house, because we brought Jimmy first and then we brought Jenny. So for her, our house without him is very, I wanted to spend all my time with her because I don't want her to go through that separation anxiety or anything because he's not there. So I wanted to be with her like all the time. So I don't go out with my friends that often. I just don't leave the house that often. I had this mentality that it's better for me to just study at home and I should be around her. And I started calculating days. Like it is said that one day of a human is 15 day of a dog. Happy, she looked very happy. She was the naughtiest, I told you. So there was, I can see in her that gradually she's getting used to not having him around. So we try to give her all the attention that she needs. Then suddenly one day Jenny acted a little different and she was not walking properly. I thought she got hurt probably somewhere because she's always jumping. She was 10 and she could not, this 2024, this is her 10th year. She doesn't look like 10. She acts like she's a very kid, and she started limping. And I thought probably she's also getting old now, so probably she's sitting for too long. I have touched her leg, I pulled it, I tried to do things like this so that if it pains I know where it's paining, but everything was okay. She allowed me, and still, because she was walking that way, next day we took her to a nearby vet called Goswami Kennels. You guys can search it up. Forget about Khanapara. That's the most useless. Just do not go. You might think medicines are cheaper, doctor payments are cheaper. No. They suspected that she's having arthritis. They gave us arthritis medicine. It did not work. And the doctor said that we need to perform some tests. So tomorrow morning he sent a person for taking her blood test. He came home to collect the blood.
ধুনু বাবা নাক 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 একো নাই ধুনু নাই একো নকহাই থৈ দিছা কামো নকৰা চামো নকৰা মোক খং উঠি গৈছে ইমান দেৰি বহাই থৈ দিছ মোক এনেই গা বেয়া মোৰ নজনী জেনি গুড গাৰ্ল ন আমাৰ ধুনু গুড গাৰ্ল আমাৰ জেনি গুড গাৰ্ল ভাল ছোৱালী এতিয়া আমি ফুফু যাম আগফালে যাম দেই হৈয়ে গ'ল জেনি হৈয়ে গ'ল
We did 3 tests. One was for parasite for her overall kidney, and one was for CBC or something like that. He said we'll get result of that parasite test today itself, and the other 2 tests will be on the next day. I mean, the results we will get on the next day. This was the result of the parasite test. Everything was fine, everything was negative. This one was the CBC tests, and this one was the kidney overall. The doctor came to know that she is a kidney patient. Her kidneys have failed. And this is probably, according to the doctor, this is probably because she have been eating chicken all her life. That's a mistake in my part. I did not know that chicken is not good for our dogs. Her diet was boiled chicken and white rice. That's it. And she used to eat it like crazy. She loves it. And in kidney cases, kidney symptoms are shown when 75% of the kidneys damaged over with. A day before, she was running crazy, and then suddenly in 2 days she stopped eating and she's just sleeping, and she doesn't sleep. She have a problem with sleeping because she thinks if she sleeps everyone will leave. She have that mentality, so she never sleeps. She sleeps only if we all are sleeping. So then these 2 days when she did not eat anything, she have been sleeping a lot, much more than normal. We took her again the next day. The doctor gave us the
Continue.
medicines, injections. The doctor said that she will be in liquid for next 1 week. No food, just water and liquid saline. Every day she needs to have saline and injections, and at home all she'll do is have water. That's it. She was given medicine. The doctor have already said that her this kidney related diagnosis or the kidney related treatment are very expensive. Like medicines are going to be in thousands. Medicines were around, it was more than 3,000. Every day we are go taking her to the hospital, and every day saline. It was quite expensive. The doctor have already told us be prepared with it. It is going to be very expensive. We were okay with it. We had little bit of issues, but then we were still willing to invest on whatever it takes. She showed improvement. We were convinced she's going to be okay. But on the fourth day, I think, the entire night she was not sleeping properly. She was just, I thought probably her stomach or something is paining. That's why she's being like this. But the next morning, she was sleeping under the sun. It was cold. I went to give her the medicines. I saw her tongue was not pink. It was darker. It was blackish, a little blue and blackish. And that was the time I just knew somewhere this is. Took her to Goswami Canal again, and they said the doctors just said that there is no chance. She lasts for a day or two, and somewhere deep down, even I knew by looking at her tongue, this is not going to get. This is not something good that is happening. So the doctor told my friend that Jenny's suffering, so does she want to put her down? I was crying in the hospital because I was crying in the hospital, the doctor could not just tell this to me directly, put her down, she's suffering. So instead he preferred telling it to my friend. My friend said I can't tell this to her, she's is not allowing anything to happen to Jenny at least. Then on the way home, my friend told me the doctor said like this. I was crying the entire way. The moment I reached home, the only thing I could come to a conclusion is let's put her down because she is suffering, and we are humans. We cry when we get hurt in every other situation. So our let's just forget about us, and if we think about her only, the best thing will be to relieve her because she is actually, that's called suffering, what she's going through. And her, because of her kidneys, her other organs are shutting down actually. So she's having problem with breathing, she's having problem with everything. And she was 10. Jimmy expired when he was 13. So I was expecting her to be around 13, 3 more years at least. But then who knew? Then we called the doctor and we said we are convinced that we should put her down because for how long are we going to keep her like this? Doctor said, okay, I will take around half an hour. I'll come to your house for doing it. Then after 15 or 20 minutes at 3:15 afternoon, she she passed out, and she was alive. Her organs stopped. She vomited for the last time, and there was a blood. It felt like her spirit did not want to leave her body, but then her organs were shutting down. So that's how her death was not nice. Jimmy, in Jimmy's scenario, things were different because we knew and he was convinced. He was like, let me go, kind of an attitude. He lost interest in everything he do. He had a normal, typical death that every dogs go through. Even though he was having cancer, his death was very convincing. Her death was not convincing. So now it's just me and my mother at home. We don't have any dog, and we are not planning to adopt any dog any sooner because we are still mourning. We are not moved on with it. So I don't want to bring another dog in a negative environment. So I'll get a dog when things are good, when we have moved on. People try to just escape from the situation. Let me just bring another dog and everything is going to be okay. I'll forget about whatever happened. That's not how it is, I feel, because dogs are not humans. They understand, they have a very high sixth sense, and they know things. That's what I feel. So I don't want to bring another dog with this negative mentality or negative mourning phase that we are going through. The motive of me making this video was to tell you guys, don't go for Khanapara Veterinary Hospital. Go for private clinics. There will be many, and this is not any promotional thing. I Whatever clinics I have visited, you can search them up in Google if any one of you are interested. I just told you about my experiences about Jimmy and Jenny's life, and just take care of your dogs. Notice little things in them. Simply vomiting doesn't mean gastric always. So just have an eye on them because they can't speak. You need to understand them. That's it.